I'm making some antipasto stuffed peppers today. If you've never roasted your own peppers before, I'm going to show you how to do it. They're as easy as anything and they're going to taste wonderful. We're going to take our colored peppers, I have red and yellow and orange, and also some green cubanelle peppers, and place them on a cookie sheet. No oil, just by themselves. And we're going to roast them in a 450-degree oven until the skin blisters on the peppers. Then we're going to throw them in a paper bag and steam them and let the skin fall off. Please enjoy the video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I would love it. Roasting peppers from scratch is something that I grew up with. I have an assortment of peppers we're going to use today for our stuffed peppers, and these are cubanelles. And if you've seen some of my other videos, you know how much I'm in love with them. They're a really thin-skinned green pepper that just has a much milder flavor, and they're not so acidic. You could do all of your peppers with just these, but I'm going to use a variety. I'm going to place them on a cookie sheet. I've got a nice orange one and a yellow one and a red one. And by the way, when you see a red pepper that's more elongated and it's not perfectly round like these guys, this is called a field pepper, and it's much less expensive. It hasn't been a Dutch import, and I really love these too. But these are great. In these are going to go to a 450-degree preheated oven. We're going to see them get charred and they're going to sink in just a little bit. And then we're going to put them in a paper bag and steam them in the bag, and the skin will come off easily. So off to the oven. We're going to have pine nuts today in our stuffed pepper filling, and I always love to toast them first. It really brings out a beautiful flavor. So let's go over to the stove and get that done. This recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of your pine nuts. These are very pricey, but you don't really use them a lot, so invest in them. And if you're only going to use a little bit of them, put them in your freezer. Most nuts will last for quite a long time and not go rancid in your freezer. So I have a nonstick skillet, and I'm going to turn this to about a medium-high temperature. And there's no oil in this. You don't need it. You get the natural oil from your nuts. So let's grab a tablespoon. Let's turn that heat on first though. And I'm just going to scoop out about 3 heaping tablespoons of our pine nuts. If these are too expensive for you, you could substitute them for another nut, like a nice pistachio nut, or almonds would be great in this. So I'm pretty much going to leave this alone, and when I see that it's a little bit brown on the bottom, I'll definitely stir it around quickly, and then I get it right out of the pan as fast as I can, because they just keep cooking and they can burn really easily. So we're getting to the end here. I can see a beautiful golden brown on some of these, and once again, you don't want to burn them. So I'm going to turn that heat off, because this pan is still going to keep cooking these pine nuts. So take a look. You can see that nice little hue of golden brown. If not all of them are done, don't worry about it. You've got enough browning on these to give them a beautiful flavor. So I have some flat leaf parsley. This came from my garden. It's really easy to grow. It depends on where you are though. And I'm going to take off some of the stem. I like flat leaf parsley. It has a very different flavor than curly parsley. It has I don't know, more character to it. The curly parsley is really neat for decorating, but this is the way to go for Italian cooking, and actually most cooking. So let's grab 8 anchovy fillets. Just pop them out of the oil. You can make a beautiful Caesar dressing with the rest of these, and that's a good example of what you eat that has anchovies in it, that sometimes, you don't even know it's there. And about 8 are good. If you really hate the thought of these, you can leave it out, and this is going to be a great stuffing even without this. Anchovies will really mince up really quickly, and they almost melt into recipes. So we have our anchovies in, and now we're going to have capers. So I've just put my peppers on for about 20 more minutes. They may be done a little bit before that. They're just starting to look a little bit collapsible, and I want to really get a good char on them before I take them out. So back to our stuffing. Capers are grown in the Mediterranean on a bush that has a little berry on it, and the berry is picked before it becomes a flower, And they come in different prices. I have seen super expensive ones. I haven't paid very much for mine. These were on sale today. And they're in brine, so use what you want and then put it back into the refrigerator, and you'll be able to use your capers to make a beautiful chicken piccata or other recipes. Don't throw them away, just hang on to them. They'll last forever in the fridge. So get a really clean fork, because you don't want to contaminate the jar of capers, and just pull out about 3 tablespoons of capers. Now we're going to put 3 tablespoons of golden raisins in our stuffing. This is very common in Sicily or southern Italy, that you have that sweet and the salty flavor. You've got the salty here with the brined capers, and you've got the anchovy. So these flavors are just going to knock you out. If you really hate raisins, if there's someone who hates raisins, you could absolutely skip it. Or you could chop some dried apricots. That would be wonderful. So there's about 1. Or some other kind of dried fruit. I have some Italian breadcrumbs. And now we're going to mix this all together and add some olive oil to moisten it. Get yourself some really good extra virgin olive oil. I use all different brands. I know sometimes I show a brand, but I use different ones and they're all really good. And guess what? I almost forgot our pine nuts. So here they go. Let's put about 1/4 of a cup in a measuring cup. I know some people are just learning how to cook, and they get really nervous about this. And I don't blame you. I was that way too. But let's see how this does. And then we can just add a little bit more. So let's drizzle this all over the top. You don't want to see any of the dry breadcrumbs at all, because they'll stay dry even when you're cooking your peppers. They just won't moisten up. There's 1, and there's 2. This is really nice. So here they are. Here, let me get this oven closed so you can see what they look like. You'll see a lot of them are blackened, and this is just what I want. So now we're going to put them in a clean paper bag, and you'll see that they're going to wilt and the skin will come off in a little while, not right away. Then we're going to clean them up, get all the seeds out of them. Then we're going to fill them with our beautiful stuffing. So grab a paper bag, something nice and clean, or if you have lunch bags for lunches, you could throw them into a couple of those. So in they go. And they're very soft. And now it's really important to take your paper bag. Let me get this out of the way. And fold it up. And this will create a steam inside of this bag that will help the skin get off of your peppers. So let's just sit for a little while until these cool down. Okay, so let's see how our peppers came out. They're going to be kind of messy, but you just deal with that until you get them all cleaned out and peeled. Let me finish these up. They've cooled down a little bit more. And look at how beautiful they are. Look at that beautiful char. You're going to really taste that. You can see once I open the skin up that it does have that beautiful little bit of a char on the inside, and that's what you're going to be eating. So let me get these cleaned up and cool down a little bit more, and then we'll stuff them. Now it's time to stuff the peppers, and I'm going to put them on a baking dish, a cookie sheet, whatever you have.
I baked my stuffed peppers at 375 degrees for at least a half an hour, or until the breadcrumbs get a light golden brown on top. Make sure to wait till your stuffed peppers have cooled way down. You could even chill them. Find yourself a beautiful platter, and it's time to plate them. Decorate your plate with some flat leaf parsley or some fresh basil. That green will really make everything pop. Serve before a really beautiful dinner, or just add this to an antipasto platter. You wouldn't believe all the beautiful flavors that I'm tasting here. You've got the capers, you've got the golden raisins, the toasted pine nuts, the anchovy coming through. This is just fabulous. Thanks again for watching another one of my videos. I hope to see you again soon for the next one.